Today on Let's Talk About It, we will be discussing temptations that come our way, and then later on we will have Sherry Hatch on the show to talk about her journey with breast cancer. Just a few months ago, we purchased a new vehicle. It's been years and years since we've had a new car, and this car had so many bells and whistles compared to the old car. One of them, though, is that if you cross over the line too far, your steering wheel will vibrate to warn you that you are moving too far over in the wrong direction. And what I've learned is I like to hug that right side when driving, and I get lots of warnings now. And one day, as the car was warning me once again, I had a thought, oh, you can warn me all you want, but I'm still going to drive the way that I want. Well, immediately God spoke to my heart. I felt him say, isn't that like my walk with you? I warn you, and I'll continue to warn you as you drift over that line that you shouldn't be. But ultimately, it's your choice to heed the warning or to continue on your way. Well, that hit hard. You see, I can look back at sinful choices and always see the warning that he would send, or the way out that he provided, or even that still soft voice that spoke to me. In fact, just recently, I had a moment, or maybe it was 3, like that. If any of you remember my word for the year, it was considerate. I was given 3 opportunities to be considerate to people who were rude, and I felt just downright disrespectful to me. And I had a choice to make, and I didn't do so well with it. But nowhere, at no time, did he make the decision for me. Oh, he was there trying to lead me, to direct my steps and keep me on that right path. But it wasn't until after these 3 incidents that God reminded me what my word was for the year. A reminder to get back on track with it. But just like with the car, it is just a warning. And then I have to decide, will I heed it or will I do it my own way? See, I believe he is speaking. He is a good father who truly wants our very best. But are we willing to let go and to let him? So as you draw close to him, I will promise you this. You will be able to recognize that tender voice saying, hey child, hold up, wait, don't go there. John 10:27 says, my sheep hear my voice. I know them and they follow me. Oh friends, when we know his voice and we choose to follow him, what a life it is, and what a beautiful journey it will be. And we are just 3 ladies with big opinions, always backed by a biblical standpoint. So let's talk about it.
When it's time for a new roof, Champion Roofing is your best choice. We're a certified award-winning roofing contractor, meaning your roof is done right the first time. Call today.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution.
This segment is brought to you by Harry's Construction, whose motto is, if you can dream it, we can create it. They are the kitchen and bath design experts, so call Harry's Construction for all your remodeling needs.
Welcome back, and today we are going to talk about those temptations that come our way. And don't they just love to come our way?
They really do. And we are talking about the time of year that food.
Yeah.
Food. Just food. Food.
Oh, I know.
Food.
There's so much good fall food, isn't there?
And if you get on Facebook, it's like everybody's posting pictures of all this stuff they're baking and making and freezing for Christmas, and I'm like, how do you freeze it? I'd eat it all right then.
I know.
I would eat it all then.
So, you know, as Christians, we are tempted. You know, that doesn't stop when you become a Christian. There, you know, things come our way. And how do you recognize it, or how do you deal with it when it comes your way, Teresa?
I don't know.
Honestly, I think recognizing it is key, don't you?
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
And how do we make that happen?
This is just a very small picture of a temptation. I want, like, everybody likes a new car. You just got a new car. It's like a good feeling for like a week. You know?
Right.
Or until the payment.
Until you make that first payment.
But I have paid off my car, and it's not new anymore. But I like not having a payment, but I also would like to have something specific. And every day when I leave my job, I pass the car lot, and there was this blue Jeep every day. And one day, I'm going down to the light, and it's like, and I pull in, and I'm like, I'm getting out and looking at this Jeep. And thank God there was no price tag on it. There wasn't even anything to even contemplate, because the price wasn't even on it. And my heart knew that it was an expensive vehicle. So I just quietly got my car. And it was like I never was there. But there was that just, I want that car.
Yeah. Please don't think we're saying buying a new car is a
No.
sin, because we're
No,
not.
I'm saying I don't need a car.
I know.
And I don't want a car payment. But there
Right.
was that temptation that one day that I just like rapidly pulled in. I had to see it. Yeah.
You just wanted to touch it.
Yeah. And that's like very small scale compared
Absolutely.
to much bigger temptations of
Right.
that people deal with.
Yeah.
And what I've learned with temptations is Satan doesn't tempt me with things that he knows aren't issues for me.
That's right.
Right.
You know, I've never had a drug issue, so he doesn't tempt me with drugs. He tempts me in areas where he knows I failed before and that I struggle in, you know? So everybody's temptations are going to look a little different because it's where you struggle. You
right.
know what I mean? And so to recognize it, I think, is a huge thing. Like, this is an area that I can struggle with, and I need to recognize when I'm close to it.
For me, if I go 3 or 4 days and I do not open the Word, I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely,
It
it
does.
And I wish I was more disciplined. I do. But there are days I'd rather sleep than get up and have a cup of coffee and read my Bible.
I know what that's like.
Yeah. And then it's easier to fall. It's
Right.
easier to fall.
Right.
It really is.
Right. That's why it is so important to get in the Word and in prayer.
Yeah.
Because you're building yourself up for the day.
That's right.
To fight when those temptations come. Now
That's
you
right.
put something in your spirit, in your mind, to fight off when those things come.
And because we are women, we know women do tend to gab about each other.
Yes.
More than men do.
Absolutely.
And women are together in small, at a coffee shop or at work or something. And honestly, something I have noticed with some friends of mine who live in senior living, because it's mostly women, they get in there and they about each other. And you guys, we have got to be aware of this, that we are tearing each other down. And if we are not in the Word and we are not praying for our friends, we are going to talk about them. Honestly, gossip is horrible. It will tear apart the church. It'll tear apart your family. It'll tear apart every friendship you have.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Yeah. And it's those things that we've kind of aren't the big sins.
That's right.
You know?
That's
So we're
right.
like, well, it's
That's
just,
right.
It's
That's right.
just a little gossiping here
That's
and there.
right.
Or it's just, food's a big one.
Yeah,
You mentioned,
absolutely.
where we don't really look at that so much as sinful, right?
Do you ever hear the word gluttony?
No. Right.
No.
Because that's an offensive word.
That's
Right.
exactly right. That's right.
So
and
it's
we don't
like-
like to be offended. I don't like to be offended.
Right. So you kind of put those down on this like lower level.
Yes.
Well, it's not
Yes.
as bad as this,
That's
or it's
right.
not as bad as this person did,
Right.
but it's still a sin, and especially if God is speaking to your heart about
right.
it, because we don't want to become legalistic either. But if God is specifically speaking to you, hey,
Yes.
this is something that needs to change in you, then you really need to be aware of that. And what I've noticed is things that I struggle in, and I talked about this in my monologue earlier, is that He is warning me. And
Yes.
He is giving me things to say, hey, hold up, don't take that next step, because it's going to lead somewhere where you don't want it to lead. So God is very good about doing that. He is speaking, He is showing you, hey, this isn't good for you. But are we listening? Are we tuning in? Or even when we do hear it, how do we respond? Because sometimes I'll hear it and be like, I want to do it my way.
That's right.
Yeah.
I want to do it my way.
I want to do it.
Yeah, I want to do it. I want to eat that cake. I want
yes.
to open the fridge and get something.
And I'm not really talking about Teresa. I want you to pray for her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, boy,
please,
right?
please, please, please. If you are describing something to someone and saying, I need you to pray about something for somebody, you better let your heart be checked.
Right.
You better
And
let your heart be checked.
Sometimes you got to adjust who you spend your time with.
That is exactly right.
To not, I have had to make some decisions like that of who I am spending my time with and where that is taking me in places that I do not need to go. And it's hard sometimes. It's really hard because
And it's not
I
even just
love
people.
people. Yeah.
Sometimes it can be, okay, I get on Facebook. Where is it leading me? I turn on the TV. Where is it leading me? I turn
Yeah.
on the radio. So there's just
Right.
things throughout your day that aren't wrong.
Right.
TV's not wrong in and of itself.
Yeah.
People aren't wrong.
Yeah.
But where is it leading to?
Yeah.
What does it bring me into?
Yeah.
What mindset do I have after I spend time with
What
that person?
value is there in what I am participating in?
Right.
And there are a lot of things that we participate in that are terrible, terrible. And we need to be very conscious of that.
Yeah.
Where's it leading my heart?
Right.
Right.
Heart's a
Where
big
is
thing.
it leading my
Heart
heart?
and mind.
Absolutely.
Heart and mind.
Absolutely.
Making sure they're in line with what God wants.
Yes.
Yes.
And if we're not in the Word, we don't know how to be in line with what He wants.
Absolutely. And that's why, you will hear us probably say that over and over.
We're talking to ourselves.
Get
Yes.
get in the Word. There is power in the Word. The Word will keep you on track. Let me end with this verse. Matthew 26:41 says, "Watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." And that's why we say, read that Word, get that scripture in there, feed the spirit, feed the mind. No temptation is too much if you're in the Word. As we come back, we will have our guest for the day.
Mouth-watering family recipes, easy-to-make meals, humor and faith fill the inspiring show Dano on the Counter. Born with only half a spine, Dano Burkhart was never supposed to be able to hold his head up. Despite countless surgeries, a stroke, leg amputations, and kidney transplants, Dano developed a contagious love for life. Join Dano on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on Fox 8 as he shares his easy-to-make dishes and the hope that keeps him pushing forward.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It, and today we have our guest Sherry Hatch with us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into your story?
My name's Sherry Hatch. I live in Dysart, Pennsylvania, and I work at Penn State Altoona.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we really wanted to bring someone on here that could really just give us some information and tell us what that journey was like. And so for you, how many years ago was it?
I was diagnosed in February of 2017.
Okay. And how did you find out?
I had gone to a doctor and she felt like a lump. And then they say to schedule a mammogram, and I kind of put it off for a while. And then they found something, and then I put my return mammogram. I waited for that.
Did you have to do a mammogram and then an ultrasound and then something? Okay.
Yeah, I did
and
like
you
a
put
couple.
all that off.
Yeah, I did for a little bit.
Bad girl.
And then I know, never do that, never put that off.
I have put that on.
And yes. And then after that all began in like August. So I finally got diagnosed in February till I got it together and did all my testing and did the biopsies. And that's how my journey started.
Wow. You know, I know you're saying, don't put it off. I think I read, at the age of 40, you're supposed to start doing that. I'm 44 and can honestly say that's a no for me.
You've never had a mammogram?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Have you guys?
I have, and the journey. It was, okay, something abnormal, then an ultrasound, then a wire-guided biopsy.
Yes.
Yep.
And then waited for that result, and
Yep.
then a lumpectomy, and then you wait for that result.
Yep.
It is a very emotional
So you've
process.
gone through that?
I have every ounce of
I
it.
have gone through that.
Yes.
And honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
you're
a long-
saying they found something that they needed to do more testing?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a lumpectomy.
Yes,
Yeah.
me too.
It's been a lot of years. I was in my 30s.
I actually had
It was long time
a
ago.
benign mass.
I did too.
Yeah.
Mine was benign.
Yes.
So what was it like? Did you know something? Did you feel like there was something wrong?
I thought maybe.
Okay.
Like when they said about the biopsies, and I went for the one biopsy, and the person who was doing it, I could just tell something wasn't right. But like I thought, I'm not going to worry about it. And then he called me, and this is the crazy part. I was picking my son up from school, and I was taking him back to my work because he would always sit there like until I got off work. But that reason, someday I had to stop at our church. So I was pulling into our church when the doctor called me.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
Oh.
it was just, a peace thing, I really was. And like when they first tell you that, you think, oh my heavens,
That's right.
like, am I going to die or whatever? And then my son was sitting there and he could hear everything.
Oh,
and
geez.
at that age, he was like 9, I believe. And so then he got worried, and I was like, everything's going to be fine, and I did actually say, like, why do you think I got the news here when we pulled into the church? And that kind of helped me along.
So what was what treatment plan did they set up for you? What happened after you were diagnosed?
After I was diagnosed, I called I didn't know what to do, so I called some doctors in Pittsburgh at McGee Women's, and I set up an appointment, and I saw a surgeon, and then I went through 18 rounds of chemotherapy. I had
Before the surgery?
I had 6, they call them hard chemotherapies.
Okay.
Then I had my surgery, and then I did 5 weeks of radiation right after the surgery. But in the meantime, you still continue to do chemotherapy, and I had like 11 more treatments of chemo.
Goodness.
Yeah.
And what was that like for you?
Yeah.
It was hard. No, it wasn't. It was doable.
Okay.
But I think a lot of it is because I had the Lord there with me the whole entire time.
I can't. Yeah. I'm sure it was tough.
I don't know how people do it that don't have that.
Right.
Because that just helped me through the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Even every week, we went every 3 weeks. We traveled to Pittsburgh. I took, that day off work, and that was the only day I would miss.
You worked through all of it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the radiation, I would just go every morning before work, because that's 5 weeks every day.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So they're pretty radical with the treatment. And I guess it
Yes.
depends on which kind you have.
Yes. I had triple positive, so it was a fast growing or whatever.
Really?
I don't know how they actually put it,
Okay.
but yeah.
So there, I might be sounding stupid here, but there's different kinds of breast cancer?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
there's a
okay.
lot of different.
Like there's
a
one
lot.
that feeds off of estrogen.
Oh,
There's one kind that's genetic. There's a kind that isn't genetic.
Yes.
What-
Yeah, mine wasn't. Mine is
Is-
not
okay.
genetic. I didn't even get genetic testing because of the type I had.
Okay.
oh. See, I just
So-
thought it was just.
So it's
breast
not in
cancer.
your family.
No.
You're the first and only
Well,
one.
I have a cousin that's like a week older than me that got the same breast cancer, the same type and everything, but
Wow.
it's
Wow.
really not. I know.
So how long from when your doctor said, "Oh, you need to go get a mammogram," to your surgery and chemo and all that? How
It was
long
1 year.
Was it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because my surgery, I found out like in August when I went to my doctor appointment, and then my surgery was like the following August.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like August 15th was like your cancer-free like telephone call, which was pretty cool.
Oh.
It's like dates you always remember.
Yeah, it would be the best call
Absolutely.
ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now you have to probably go. How often do you have to go back now?
Now I just go yearly
Yeah.
for a mammogram, but I still see my oncologist yearly, and I still see my radiation oncologist yearly also.
Do you take like a chemo pill or anything?
Yeah,
Or do
I take a pill, which I started right after my surgery.
Okay.
Or I think it was right after, yeah. It was right after my last chemo treatment. And you're supposed to take it for 10 years.
Okay.
But this is my 6th year, and he said they're possibly going to take me off of that this year because of the research they've done.
Yes, yes.
So I'll find that out here at the end of the month. So
oh,
Good for you.
Yeah.
awesome. 6 years.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how did it affect your life? How are you different? Do you see things? How did it affect your life?
I totally see things different now.
Okay.
Like, you used to think, oh, they have cancer, those poor people. But like when you get cancer and then you meet someone who's like a cancer survivor too, it's like you have a totally different outlook on people as they're going through treatments. I just had a friend who had pancreatic cancer, and she called me like every day before my every treatment I went, she would call me. And, I got to return the favor for her too, but you just have a whole new outlook on life even.
Right.
Like, and how much like God really does for you. I don't think I really realized that.
So it's important to have a good support system.
Yes.
And I
And
had
then God.
Yes, I had a fantastic support system. The people I worked with, our church, just people praying for me that I didn't even know. They would just call and say, "Hey, I'm praying for you today." I'm like, it's fantastic.
It is. Well,
And how do you suggest we help people in our lives that have cancer?
Like if a lot of things is just being there for them,
Okay.
even just send them a text and say, I'm thinking about you
Okay.
today. That was one of the main things when people would just text me.
yeah, keeping
Wow.
communication open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we end, I just want to quickly say 1 in 8 get diagnosed.
Yep.
1 person in every 2 minutes. Wow. So women, even though I know I don't want to and I've been holding off, get those mammograms, get checked out, be an advocate for yourself. And, God will be your support system with whatever happens. And when we come back, we will have our tip for the day.
For generations, Dick's Home Care has been providing the best equipment and service for patient care at home. Breathe easier with oxygen from Dick's Home Care. Oxygen concentrators give you a continuous oxygen supply at home. Oxygen cylinders supply oxygen without power. And portable oxygen frees you to go. Dick's Home Care technicians will set your oxygen up and make sure you know how to use it. Call the leader in home medical equipment, Dick's Home Care.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers, and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Hi there, my name's Troy Ferguson, and many of you may not know me, but I'm the executive producer of the show you're watching right now. And I want to, first of all, tell you from a producing standpoint, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting. This is something we enjoy bringing to your home every week. The ladies come up with incredible topics to talk about, sometimes tough questions. We've had a multitude of guests week in and week out, and I know many have been blessed by this show. I want to say thank you to those of you that have supported it. Now, one of the reasons I'm here today is throughout each segment, you'll see a few commercials and a little bit of promotion for this or that. And I want to tell you that this is what keeps us on the air. This is what keeps us coming into your home every week. And I want to just tell you, if you have a business or an organization that would be interested in sponsoring or advertising on this show, I would like you to get in contact with me directly. You can reach me at troy@jointhecity.org, and I'll be glad to respond and connect with you about what the options are. But I mainly want to just say thank you. We're in our second season, and this is an amazing show that I get to watch every time these ladies get together. And the chemistry and the joy that you see on the show is something that is behind the scenes as well. I'm blessed to be part of this. I'm blessed that you are watching it and supporting it. And if you have any desire to do more with your support through advertising or through sponsorship, please get in contact with me. Once again, thank you for watching, and let's get back to the show.
So today's tip is for those moms and dads who, when they get a note sent home, hey, can you bring snack in for the week? Or maybe it's you want to do a special treat for your kid at school and you don't know what to do. Here's something that may just help you. I've noticed that when you bring snacks in for school, they always have to be prepackaged. So this is a great way to do it. So I brought in a fruit cup and I brought in some peanut butter cheese crackers. They're both orange colored. So this is a great tip for fall. So you buy these and you can get them in bulk, so for however many kids you need, and this truly does not take any time at all. Get a black marker, and on top of your fruit cup, you can draw some little triangles, a little nose, some funky little face, and then you have a little jack-o'-lantern fruit cup that goes into your kids. So it's not just the fruit cup anymore, you made it a little extra special. Or how about you want to do the cheese crackers? Again, put some little face on there and you're good to go. And I just think this is just a little way to kind of up your game and say, hey, look at me. I did something a little extra special with the snacks that I brought in for my son's or daughter's class. Real easy, healthy even, and a great way to celebrate the fall. That's our tip for today. When we see you next time, we'll have another good question to talk about. Let's talk about it.
Pick up the Word of God. You don't need another book. You don't need some other author tell you, I'm not against books, I'm not against authors, but the Word of God is medicine unto your soul. You need to remember your redemption so you move forward. Sometimes we got to go backwards in order to go forward.
I want to encourage you to join us every Sunday here on ABC at 5 a.m. and 12 p.m. You can also catch the archive of our messages by visiting transformationchurch.org. Transformation Church. It's who we are, it's what we do.